Alright, so I'm going to post about a 3 week or so update on the Best Massage EC77 massage chair I got off of eBay. I got the unit for about $549 shipped off of a eBay retailer. As mentioned from my prior post, build quality seems pretty good for this price range. Shipping, everything came intact. Everything came as described. It does work good, or works as expected. um, After using it for a little bit, at first I wasn't overly convinced I liked it. I'm not going to say I hate it. However, I'm not going to say I'm in love with it either. I guess my background, I should probably mention, my wife is a massage therapist. I got this primarily because I have back and neck problems from a previous car accident. Because she does massage therapy for a living, unfortunately, my needs get kind of put to the back burner when she gets home, because obviously when you get home doing something all day, you don't want to do it when you get home. So that's where this chair came in. She assured me this chair would not replace her in hands-on time, which, after messing with it for a little bit, I will say she is absolutely correct. Also, in the past, I will say that I have sat in a high-end chair at a demo. Was a not a dream or something like that. It was a pretty high-end chair. It was like an $8,000 or $10,000 chair. So I can say from two totally different spectrums what the difference is in the chairs. Again, build quality does seem to be pretty good. I mean, it is what sold for $550 shipped. $250 of that, or $300 of that was probably shipping. So it's a couple $100 chair. Again, it does work as expected. Everything does work good. We'll go ahead and turn this on. I do keep the breaker off on it. You'll see I kicked the little breaker back there. You can see some of the framework back here. Again, it's kind of dark in here. This is my theater room also. So I do apologize for light. I try and get as much light as I can in here. General overall view of the chair. One thing I will say kind of annoys me with this is the remote. There is no backlit buttons on the remote. I know that remote looks like it might backlight, but it doesn't. And again, my room is dark. It is a dark room. And then I dim the lights down, and I can't see shit on this remote except for the power button on the screen. So first turning it on, you get the default screen. Sorry, I'm trying not to wash this out too much with the flash. And it shows you it's doing stuff. And you see the chair leans back and starts making some noises. You see some rollers going, and everything's cool. Except for when you hit a sequence. In the dark, you can't see what the sequence is. So you gotta kind of fuddle around. I'm hitting all kinds of shit trying to figure out what's going on and off, and things happen that I don't expect to happen. The remote is cheap. It's kind of a low function remote, doesn't do much. That's kind of a chauncey display. I mean, again, what do you expect? The rollers and bags do work. You can see the shoulder bags here puffing out. You can see the roller going down the back is working. Rollers on the feet, or the bags on the feet. One thing I can say I'm not fond of with this is the leg portions. If you were sitting straight up, everything works pretty good. You got to kind of shimmy yourself in the spot. It's kind of hard to get it into the right area, into the right nooks and crannies to get that good massage. So the feet don't really fit all that great. When you recline a little bit, for some reason, the parts of the bags right here put a shit ton of tension. I mean, you can see how tight that is. That's pretty much touching both sides of my hand right there. So when your calves are in there, that puts a ton of tension on the insides of your knees. And when you're leaned back, that pulls like hell on my legs. And I actually have to quick pull my legs out because it does cause some cramping on my legs. And I'm scared sometimes. It feels like it's going to pop a blood vessel or something. The back works pretty decent. These rollers, you can see these rollers right here in your neck aren't bad. Right in here, these will dig into your shoulder blades, which is not good. It's not the most comfortable thing. If you sit on it, try and stretch your back, like stretch your shoulders forward to kind of spread your shoulder blades a little bit. It does make it a little bit better, but again, it's not a perfect massage. I've tried putting a pillow inside here. You can unzip this, and I put a pillow in there. It desensitizes it too much, and then you can't feel any of this stuff. This was the most important part to me because of my neck and these hand things. And again, it's either too much or not enough. It's kind of hard. Flip that forward, get those bags back in there. The handbags, those do work pretty good. There's a couple little like crevices in there. It puffs up here, puffs up there, and this whole top thing. So right here is like a crevice between the bags. It seems like my hand always gets caught in there. It's kind of weird sometimes, but that does feel good. Bags on the hips do feel good. This thing, the bottom piece blows up a little bit. You can't feel it too much, but it does blow up there. You can see the outline of one of the bags right there, kind of goes in your crack. It does get your lower back pretty good. I am pretty fond of that. And again, the feet, it's got rollers in the feet. They kind of feel so mediocre. I'm not going to say they feel great, but they're not horrible. But the problem is getting your foot all the way back in that crevice. This thing does adjust down. You have to manually push it. It's kind of crude in the way it adjusts. Overall, it's not a bad massage. I mean, for $550, you kind of do a little bit more than a fluff massage. It is worth that. Again, it is kind of hard to get a good position and kind of get comfortable with it. Maybe I'm just picky. I'm used to having a good massage. So, you know, if you've never had a good massage before and you're looking to save some money, do something at home, yeah, this is cool. If you're used to a really good quality massage, this is a little lacking. Once you get up there with those really high-end ones, those $8,000 and $10,000 ones, yeah, that's kind of a completely different game. You lay in those, you relax, you fall asleep. This thing, I mean, I found myself kind of dozing off once with it. Other than that, I mean, it's mediocre. It's not great, but I don't hate it. My 15-year-old stepson does use it. He enjoys it. My 20-year-old stepdaughter enjoys it. Again, they don't really get massages from their mom, though. So, you know, they're not as picky. They're kids. They don't really understand much. The stretch mode, I will say the stretch mode is kind of horrible. You can see it in a normal 0G mode here. So when you go in a stretch mode, your arms are in there like that, and these things clamp down on you, and the seat back moves back. So it actually stretches. Your arm is still there, and this thing's pulling you back and stretching your arm. And that actually put a lot of stress on my shoulders. That actually hurt me, so I couldn't do that. The other modes, you know, the refresh and relax, you know, again, they're not bad. You can mess with the speed and air. I haven't really found that these really do much, to be honest. They changed the thing up here, but they don't feel any different. You can recline this thing pretty far. I'll back off of here in a moment so you can see how far back it goes. It might actually touch my theater chair there. We'll see how far back it goes. Okay. That's what I consider 0G. When you hit the 0G button, it does not put you back like that. It puts you at, you know, maybe a 45-degree angle or something like that. That to me is a 0G. But again, that gets uncomfortable because that pulls like a son of a bitch right here on the insides of your knees. So I'll hit the 0G button. Oops, hit the wrong button. Alright, we'll go all the way up. Oops. Alright, so this is the 0G that it's going to go to now, and you will see it's not as extreme as what one would think. But again, they don't show videos on this kind of shit, so I kind of got a couple bucks for a Christmas bonus. I figured I'd blow a couple dollars on this. There's no reviews on them. I figure, you know, 500 something bucks. What can you lose as long as it works? So there just went the full incline, and now this is the 0G position. So this is like barely like mediocre reclined. I consider this a barely reclined position. Your feet aren't up. You know, your feet are up a couple degrees. Your back is down a little bit. That's not 0G. But again, it does have the ability to go back. Movability of it, I know they say they have these cool casters and this thing's really easy to move. It's not easy to move. It's a pain in the ass. Because when you go to move it, first thing you want to do is push back on this and lift up the front. That doesn't exactly work like that. That thing's pretty bottom heavy. And I don't know about you, but I'm kind of worried about breaking shit when I do that. So that doesn't fly with me. I don't like to do that. But otherwise, you know, it's still running through its countdown. Click the power button. You're going to see it go back up. And all the bags will eventually deflate. Again, sorry about the camera quality. I do not have a GoPro. I'm doing this on an iPhone in a really dark room. I try to get some lighting down here. But again, the main thing is, don't expect too much from these. Yeah, they work. They work pretty good. If you're not picky, you'll probably love it. I am pretty picky. That's why I make these videos when I can. So people that are picky like me and shit that there's no reviews on, they'll at least get some kind of idea what they're getting. Other than that, I mean, build quality solid. This is all solid plastic with like a vinyl wrap around it. Stitching's not bad. I didn't see anything, you know, nothing crazy with stitching. Normally you'll see crap from China going like this as a stitch down. It's not stitched bad. It's pulled tight enough where everything's uniform. Got some Velcro, some zippers, and you know, stuff that you can get to the rollers. One of these days when I get some more light in here, I'll get to the rollers and play around with that. But just a basic overview of anybody that's looking at the chair. Hope this helps you, and enjoy.